Hello everybody, got a frog in my throat. Oh, I really do. Welcome to the most important debrief of the entire year, the Asia World Cup debriefs. Today I want to debrief all of the Asia World Cups, which will be the three of them, the Keqiao World Cup, the Wujiang Lead World Cup and the Bali Lead World Cup. How long was I out there for?
21.
I was out in Asia for just under a month. It was the best month ever. I had an absolute blast. I went out and stayed in Shanghai for... Did I stay in Shanghai? No, I didn't. That's a complete lie.
Liar!
I flew out to China and went straight to Keqiao. Trained around there for only a day. I trained in China. We should have done this earlier because I've completely forgotten what the hell I'm doing. What the hell? I trained in China a couple of days before the comp and that was a lot of fun. And then I rested and we went into the Keqiao World Cup. I was out like second because you go out in world ranking order, so the highest ranked athletes come out first. So it's the first time that I was out like really early, like ever. So that was really cool. It made warming up a lot more difficult because you have less time to warm up, which was something I talked to my coaches about. But yeah, learning all those new things has been quite enjoyable since it's something new that I haven't had to learn before. I've never come out that early, like I said. But yeah, I was really nervous for qualification for Keqiao just because it's the first comp of the year and you don't know like how winter training has gone. Comp sims are helpful, but you never really know where you are until the first World Cup of the season. So I was just very nervous for that, and qualification went okay, and even though it was a bit of a odd round with some really hard blocks, I made semi-finals in like 7th or something. I was safely through to the next round. Semi-finals was a nice reminder that I'm not really used to doing comp blocks, let alone doing comp blocks in the heat. I really struggled with like getting friction on the slopey holds. I just think that I rely a lot on good conditions for boulders like that. So semis 1 I really struggled with. Semis 2 was like the power block through the roof. I'm really happy with this one. I wouldn't have topped this last year. The moves lower down weren't too hard, but they sort of pumped and powered you out a little bit. And going to the blocked off crimp was a really hard move. You had to be very precise, and I wouldn't have got that last year, so I'm really pleased that I managed to get that even after grabbing the crimp really badly, and I sort of was able to readjust on it and then get the top on that one. The third block was a heartbreaker for me. This was a real highlight from the round because I just wasn't comfortable on it at all. I think I tried to overcomplicate it because I was just really underconfident on that kind of competition move. I did learn it, like as the time went on I was learning more and more, and I was really close to sticking it by the end of my 5 minutes, but I know that those kind of moves should be dialed in and they're just not, so that was a big point to take away. And then the final block was the slab and I got nothing on it and I didn't feel confident at all on that either, so that was another massive takeaway. But thankfully I made finals in 7th place, which I was just happy to have made the first World Cup final of the year. I was going into Keqiao finals not massively confident in my ability as a boulderer, and warm up for finals was all about trying to like get my body more locked in, and I did unlock a few movements, just like getting my body more used to those flicky comp moves and stuff, which I was really good at last year, but I think because I've put so much work into getting stronger over the off season, my body's just struggling with the technical aspect of it. But I wanted to try and learn as much as I could from the finals and just fight until the end. Finals number 1. Oh dear.
Oh dear, we are in trouble.
I'm not really sure what went wrong. I think I was just sagging when I was trying to go into this spawn, and I think I was trying to do it like very much bicep intensive instead of like just standing up into it. It was really good because I was able to get on the blocks the day afterwards because they put them back up, and I got that move straight away. I think I was just not doing it right. I think I was just not climbing it very well. I wasn't doing it right, I was climbing it badly, and therefore I did not get that. and I did not get anything on that. So that's got to be quite low. I think a 2 out of 5. Boulder 2, I flashed to the zone, so that was good. I had some scores on the board. But the paddle on Boulder 2 was really difficult, and I did get better, but it's still definitely a weakness of mine, and it was also just a really, really hard move. So I did not get the top on that one. I'll give myself a 3 out of 5 for that one because no one got it. It was really, really hard, but I did feel like I improved, and I feel like if I worked it, I would get that and I would learn a lot from it, more importantly. Boulder 3 was the slab. Again, this is another example of my body just not being dialed in because that first move took me 3 attempts when it probably shouldn't have. But I'm happy to have got, like, the top of it didn't feel too hard, and I was able to get my first top of the round. So I'll give that a 4.5 out of 5 because it was pretty much perfect. The last boulder was the strengthy overhang boulder. At this point, I knew that getting on the podium would be difficult, but I thought that the scores would be really close. So I wanted to make sure I flashed to the zone to just put myself in the best position to maybe get a podium. And I came out with an absolute mission. And I got the zone on my first attempt, but then was trying to find a better way for the bottom bit for my next few attempts. Couldn't find the better way, found a worse way, and therefore just completely powered out and was unable to get any further than I got on the first attempt, which wasn't great. So I'd probably give that one a 2 out of 5. Overall, for the finals, it was an absolutely brutal set of boulders. I think everyone really struggled, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And it's the first competition of the season, so it's really hard to know where everyone's at. But it was enough for me to get a podium. I was able to get a bronze medal. It was pretty cool. My second ever World Cup medal, and another boulder medal under my belt. Comp 1 done. Then I headed over to Wujiang. We were staying the same hotels and everything as last year, so it felt sort of nostalgic in a way, except that I just had this bronze medal just in my hotel room, which was a nice reminder of just how different a competitor I am this year, I think, which was a nice feeling. Wujiang, I was just going into really excited because I think pre-season I was aware that my lead form was really, really solid, and boulder form I was a little less sure on, so I was just really excited. Qualification, a little bit nervous for the first one, but then after I topped the first route I felt really strong, so I was very chilled out going into the second route, which I also topped, and I was relaxed going into semi-finals, and I topped that route as well, which felt really good because after reading it in observation I thought I can top it, and I just really wanted to top it because I've never topped a World Cup semi-finals route before. I wasn't aware of how high scoring the route was before I went out. I was just sort of really focused on my own climbing, so I didn't really think about it, and I just climbed it. And as I went up, it felt easier than I thought it would feel, even though I thought it would feel okay. So I was maybe climbing it a little bit more securely because I thought that people would be getting high up on it, but I also just really wanted to top it, so I was making sure that I climbed it well and climbed it not stupidly, basically. So I was going into finals in joint first with Chehian and Annie, and I was excited for finals, so I rested up. And obviously there's a 3-way tie, so it all sort of depends on the finals route. When I went out to observation to observe the finals route, I decided that I wanted to purposefully climb fast, and I told my coach that when I came back in from observation, just because it looked like a doable route, not just for me but for the people who I was tied with. So I wanted to make sure that if we all topped it, it would go down to time and my time would be a good time.
Particularly that Shane was a minute faster than you on the semi.
Exactly. Chehian does not mess around. She only rests when she's pumped, and she doesn't really get pumped, so she just keeps going. I was quite nervous going out to the finals route, but I was also ridiculously excited, and I was just fired up. I quite liked when I found out that I would be the first of the 3, because I thought then when I'm done I'll know if I'm on the podium, but I won't know if I'm gonna win I thought I would quite like it, but then when I like read the route and stuff, I was so like tunnel visioned in on that I wanted to win. I don't know where the switch was. I think just reading the route, I thought that I could do it. So I was very focused on that. Coming out to the route, I did climb it relatively fast. The bottom section was okay, just moving through it. It wasn't too, like there was a lâcher move, which was pretty cool, but then there weren't too many hard moves up that middle section. And then just under the head wall, there were the first kind of like really, really hard moves of the route, which also felt okay, just moving through them. And when I hit the head wall, that's when I knew it was going to get hard, just because it looked hard from the ground. And I hit the crimp on my left hand and caught it like back 3. You can see my like elbow pop up, and I was quite close to dropping that just because of like how I grabbed it. But then I managed to like bump to the next one. Then I got my foot up, and I think in my head, because I was so focused on the top, I like tried to faff around, even though I was so like gone because of how I'd grabbed that I just faffed around a little bit too much, and then went for the last paddle move but didn't get enough like leverage. So like when I went for it, I was falling at that point. When I came down, I was actually quite disappointed. I looked at the leaderboard and saw that I was guaranteed a medal. It's my first ever Lead World Cup medal, so I maybe should have been more happy, but I think because, as I said, I was so tunnel vision, like I want to win, because I thought that the opportunity was there. I thought that I'd messed it up because Shahin and Annie would top. I think like as I went and sat down to watch the last 2 competitors come out, I was disappointed, but I was slowly starting to like be happy at the fact that it was going to be my first ever Lead World Cup medal, regardless of what colour it was. Then watching Shahin and seeing where she fell off was sort of like, I was not disappointed, just like, oh, what could have been, because I just assumed that she'd have a faster time than me, because like I said, she's just a steam engine and she just keeps going. And then when I was like watching the screen, and then it pops up like 1:46, I think. And at first I thought it was like a technical error, like they'd somehow managed to like copy mine down into her scoring, but it wasn't. It was just the scoring, and everyone in the arena is like looking at the screens to see who's gonna take the provisional gold before Annie comes out, and everyone just sort of in disbelief, because the chances of this happening are ridiculously low. And we were both quite like exasperated, like, and wondering how they were gonna split it, because I think I assumed that we weren't both going to be given gold. In the meantime, we watched Annie, and she put up a really good fight, but in the end it was me and Shahin in apparently joint gold and Annie in 3rd. In the end, I got my first Lead World Cup medal, and it was a gold medal, and it was a joint gold medal, which is pretty cool. First time ever on time, which is absolutely mental. And it's cool because I think like a first time gold medal is unforgettable. Well, any gold medal, but any gold medal is unforgettable, but like in particular it's unforgettable to you. But this gold medal I think is going to be unforgettable to like the majority of the climbing community. I think it's a massive talking point, and it's just so cool to be a part of it, especially with Shahin, because she's just really, really cool, and I think she's a goat in the climbing community. Check that girl's stats, it's insane. Go on her IFSC profile and look at her results. They are ridiculous.
The GOAT! The GOAT!
So it's just so cool to share a gold medal with her.
Especially in 2021, she was on an absolute tear. But like,
yeah, she's Lead World Champion. And like so many World Cup golds in the year that I was doing nothing of any substance. I was doing nothing. Insane. And now I share a gold medal with her. What? I mean, if you could say to me, who do you want to share a Lead World Cup gold with? Shahin's got to be up there. She's like iconic. Anyway, this video is just gonna be called Erimini's Fangirls over Shahin for 10 minutes straight. Yeah, my first Lead World Cup medal, my first gold medal. I've got a Lead World Cup gold before I got a Boulder World Cup gold, which now feels right, but before definitely wouldn't. And doing it in China was great because I felt a lot of love in China when I was competing, and I love the crowd and I love the atmosphere and I love China. Some of my favourite World Cups of the year because I just enjoy it so much and I feel so much support when I'm there, so thank you anyone who is cheering for me. I will see you again next year, hopefully. So then I went to Bali for the last World Cup of this stint. At this point I feel like I've been away from home for quite a long time, but I'm also just having the time of my life, so I'm just enjoying it. It felt weird being back in Bali. The last time I was in Bali before the World Cup was when I was probably like 14 or something. Yeah, I think I was 14. I used to go there a lot on holiday as a kid when we lived in Malaysia, so it sort of felt like really nostalgic in a way, being back in the Bali airport. It was weird. Being back in the airport, I was like, oh my god, I forgot that this was a thing. It felt great being back and I was excited to go again. I was feeling pretty like worn out because of just how much like excitement I'd experienced over the past 2 weeks, but I managed to get myself back into the mindset and excited to go again. The Bali qualifiers were really chill, which, looking back, considering how much they mattered in the end, could have been a lot less chill, but I topped my first route and then I was very relaxed for my second route, which was the harder route of the round, and it was okay at the bottom, but the head wall was really hard. I managed to top that one as well, which felt really good. And then I had a day's rest and we went again for semis and finals. Going into semi-final I was tied with Aimori because we were the two only people to top both qualifier routes, but reading the semi-final route actually looked quite hard, so I wasn't worried about time or anything, and it was easier than I thought it would be when I was climbing it, but I managed to top that one. Yeah, I managed to like clip the chains from a couple holds below, but then I did finish it off just so that because I'm vain and I wanted to show that I could do it. Finals was in the evening. The whole venue in Bali, I loved the venue. It was amazing. It was like right on the sea. I'm sure you've seen pictures of it because everyone was posting it because it was like amazing. But the venue of like the place where the crowd was and the performances that were going on, it was all just like so cool. It was like you were at a festival, and I was sort of jealous of not being in the crowd, but I was just really excited to compete in front of it. For finals I was coming out last because I had topped all 3 routes, so it was, yeah, I was currently first, and I knew that as long as I topped the route I would win if anybody else topped the route. Having read the route, I thought that it looked hard. It looked like the hardest route of the competition. That was sort of good, but it still looked doable, and I did want to give myself obviously the best shot of topping it. Coming out last, I was like alone in isolation and call zone for a hot like 5 minutes, and even though it's not a lot of time, it was still just very surreal. It was my first time ever coming out last in like a lead competition, like of a World Cup level. Like hearing everything that was going on outside and the crowd and stuff, especially because it was painfully obvious from my end that 2 people had topped. I didn't know that I had timed out, but I knew that it was very obvious that 2 people had gotten to the top. So I was very nervous going out, but I managed to calm myself down and smile to myself and just go out ready to enjoy it. And I flowed really nicely through. I actually climbed quite fast, which I wasn't trying to do, but I was trying to just not rest unless I was tired or needed to compose myself. And I think I flowed through it really nicely. When I hit the head wall, I was being careful because there were a few moves from the ground that looked really hard, and I wanted to make sure that I was being careful because at this point I wasn't pumped. I was willing to expend extra energy faffing if I needed to in order to figure out the moves to make sure that I secured the top. Then I reached the last like hard move, which was those 2 long flat hold green pinches, or like slopey things. It was a really awkward, hard, terrifying move at the top when you're 2 moves away from winning a World Cup gold medal. And as I went for it, my foot slipped and my heart jumped into my throat. Could have thrown up there and then on the wall. Thankfully I didn't, and I managed to just like lock my shoulders out and just try really hard. As soon as I like stuck this move, I could have started crying there and then. I came to match this one and went for the top, and it's like a massive bucket, but it was quite high up, so I was a bit scared going for that, but at that point I was never ever going to let go of anything. So I managed to latch that and pull the rope through the insane drag at the top. I think before I'd even clipped the chains, I was already like sobbing, and then I sobbed at the top of the wall, and then just everything after that is a massive, just basically like blur of happiness and shock and a bit of relief thrown in there as well. The award ceremony and stuff, just being on the top of the podium, like my national anthem playing because I won, just felt so utterly shocking and surreal. So it was just an insane experience, and I can't believe that I have a shared gold medal and now just an individual gold medal in the first 2 lead competitions of the year. It just feels pretty insane. And this is the gold medal from Bali. I'm yet to be, I don't have my Wujiang medal yet. I've got joint custody with Cheyenne. She's gonna send it over. No, I'm joking, I hope they send me my own. But yeah, this is the one from Bali. Yeah. Cheyenne, come home, the kid misses you. Oh! Danger. Lead World Cup gold medal, who would have thought?
Not me.
With my 57th in lead. 57th to first. What a comeback. Crazy scenes. McBeast from McLeast interesting athlete on the circuit to McBeast. McBroken. It was cool getting a medal in Bali. Like, imagine, because the first. Yeah, that's pretty cool as well. But also just the fact that we like went on holiday there from when I was like 8 to when I was like 11 or 12.
Literally like 20 minutes away from
where we used to stay, and go on holiday multiple times a year to this place to like go surfing. And then now here I am just winning a gold medal in climbing.
You know what they need now?
What?
One in Malaysia. A World Cup in Malaysia.
Please, Kuala Lumpur World Cup. We need one in the UK and we need one in
We just need all your
Malaysia.
World Cups. Get one back in Japan.
Get one back in Japan. I really do hope that the World Cup goes back to Bali next year because it was a great competition. I also got this. Oh, ow. It just bit me. It just bit me. Oh. Bad hair day. I've dislocated my jaw. Ow. It just throat punched me. Nom, nom, nom. I would ask for names, but I've already named it. I've named it Darcy because she doesn't like it. She's scared of it. It actually does hang up. It's shedding all over me. Can you see this? Very cool. No, I haven't. Where the bloody hell's that gone? I did have to bring this home with me, and it was like a 28-hour journey. I will fix that because this is my favourite thing that I brought back with me. And some people were like, "Are you bringing that back?" And were shocked when I said yes. I'm not going to leave this. This is my child. Yeah, and then the day after finals I travelled back and spent a couple of days with my family celebrating. They were all very happy for me, obviously, and it was very nice. My next competitions are all going to be in Europe. I'm planning on doing all of them, and my family and friends and stuff are coming out to quite a few of them, which I'm really excited for. It's going to be nice to have them out there. But in the meantime, between those comps, between now and Prague, I really want to focus on my bouldering because I'm not very confident on comp moves. What the hell are you doing? Got a cramp. He's like behind the camera. Comp specific moves at the moment I don't feel too happy with, so I really want to focus on that. Yeah, thank you again for all the support after and during Asia. I really felt it, and it was really nice to feel like I was being rooted for and celebrated. And yeah, thank you for anyone who gave me gifts. A lot of them are going on my climbing bag. Yeah, get a video of that and put it in there. It got like holds, like actual real, like replicas of real climbing holds practically, because they are. And then you can like set a route. Anything else I want to say? Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone who's helped me. Thank you to my coaches. You guys already know that already, though. Hope that you enjoyed me rambling on about my Asia trip. I'll never stop talking about it. I enjoyed it a lot, and I already can't wait for Seoul at the end of the year when I can go back. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Is there anything else I need to say? Have a great day. Should I wear both of them? Lude! I'm specialising. Podium. Don't put that in. Specialising in LA. Hello. Hello, governor. I'm gonna look absolutely insane. I have got one more. I've got one more gold. I'm also like choking myself. Chubby body. Chubby body. I should have stolen Serato's gold. He's already got some.
Quite a few.
So have I.
He's got more goals
Quite a
this
couple.
year than you've got in your entire career.
Don't embarrass me right now. Bad Felicia. I said,